Okay, Bob, so this is our last sim session to wrap up your recurrent training. The first half of the session, we're basically going to focus on some emergency procedures and some edge of envelope training. We're going to start off with some basic auto rotations and then some autos with turns after a brief warm-up period in the sim. After that, we'll review loss of tail rotor effectiveness and vortex ring state with both types of recovery conditions.
That sounds good. I'm glad we can cover these types of emergencies and conditions in the simulator. There's no good way to practice these in the aircraft.
That is correct and a great observation. Many pilots think that they don't need a simulator for effective training and feel they can accomplish the same level of training with just the aircraft, and that is just not true. So now that you've progressed through the training course and demonstrated you can fly to the privileges and performance standards of your pilot certificate, you've entered what we like to call the bonus round.
The bonus round?
Yes, and that's because we're also going to do some scenario-based training in the sim session. We're going to take a real-world aircraft accident and recreate the environment and conditions where an actual accident occurred. What I want you to remember is that scenario-based training is the bonus round here. It is not pass-fail. It's a session that's going to promote advanced learning and training so that you can focus on aeronautical decision-making and sharpen your ability for threat assessment and mitigation when you're out there flying in the real world and in the helicopter. Essentially, we're going to create scenarios where you may make mistakes. You may even crash the simulator, and that's okay. However, the point is to be able to learn from those mistakes so you can take that knowledge with you into the aircraft.
Right.
So it's up to me to try and get you into the same mindset of the accident pilot and present similar human factors and conditions that the pilot was faced with to see if you make the same mistakes they did. But we also need to keep the scenario contained within real-world constraints.
Okay, so I may crash, and you're saying that's okay?
Yes, and there is no grading attached to it. Remember, someone did the exact same thing, crashed and died. If we do that in the sim, what happens?
Well, in the sim, we could pause it and talk about it, analyze it to see what happened, and learn from it.
Yes, we can even back it up and try it again. Again, it's all about learning from your mistakes. If you're going to make them, and yes, we all make them because we are human, make those mistakes in the simulator so you can learn and take that with you when you walk out the door.
Oh, well, now I'm kind of excited about this. I haven't ever done training like this before. What are we going to do?
Well, we're going to pick an accident that the U.S. Helicopter Safety Team has developed as a result of Safety Enhancement 123. It focuses on the recommended practices for scenario-based training in rotorcraft simulation. There's an annex here at the back that's compiled several accidents and grouped them based on the most common causes and occurrences.
Okay, so which ones are we going to try to recreate?
Well, inadvertent EMC is a very common one, but since our session contains some LTE training, we're going to include one that involved loss of control in flight.
What happened?
I'll give you the background. It involved an R-44 that was involved doing some aerial filming work in Pennsylvania. They became distracted with a police chase and pursuit and started to try to follow and film that.
Yeah, but we're not flying an R-44 sim and we aren't training in Pennsylvania. You said this session would be in Phoenix. How are we going to do that?
Well, remember that scenario-based training is not specific to an aircraft type or location. These accidents can happen in many conditions and in many places and with any type of aircraft. Inadvertent IMC doesn't only happen to one or two helicopter types, does it?
No, singles and twins, pistons and turbines all have IMC accidents. And if I do crash?
It's a learning environment, not a grading one. Remember, if this happens to you in the aircraft, are you going to be around to remember how to avoid this next time?
Maybe not.
Exactly. So let's read through the recommended practices guide here provided by the U.S. Helicopter Safety Team, and we can read through the conditions of the accident scenario we're going to do in the sim.
November 350 Bravo Tango, remain northwest centerline 826 Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. Flight altitude 1,000 feet approved. Remain this frequency, cleared for immediate takeoff.
Roger, approved 500 to 1,000, remain northwest of the centerline. Cleared for takeoff, Sierra Bravo Tango.
Once you're clear of the airport area, the building, we need to take photos and videos on the south side of the downtown area there.
I think I got it, just down there.
Yep, that's it. About 11 o'clock or so.
Heading that way.
Yeah, that's the building we want, dead ahead, right off the nose there.
Yeah, I don't know, it's going to slow down once we get up there.
Perfect. Yeah, we're going to want to take some photos and videos from, kind of each side of the building. So if you can, just set up in orbit around the building.
about this altitude?
Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. If you can come down a little bit, that'd be great too.
Yeah, a couple hundred. How's that?
Yeah, that's excellent. I think we got everything we need. Perfect. We can wrap it up.
All right, head back to the field.
Yes, please. Hey, did you see that over there?
Now, see what?
There's a whole bunch of police cars involved in a police chase, it looks like.
Where?
It's just off to our left side a little bit. Can you slow down and maybe lose some altitude there a little bit?
Come down. I think I see him down there.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, they're cutting back and forth on some of the streets. It's really hard to follow from this angle. Yeah, let's lose some more altitude. Get the camera on it.
I'll see what I can do. Get pretty low and slow.
500. 400. 300.
Wind's really coming down between these buildings. Getting
200.
bumpy.
Yeah, it's okay. Camera's gyro stabilized. It's fine. Go ahead and slow down some more. Now they're coming back on
Try.
the next street over. Go ahead and turn back around.
Which way? No, geez, what's it doing? I can't stop it. I can't stop it.
All right. So that's scenario-based training.
I see what you mean. We could never do that in the aircraft. I'm glad I came.
Good. Yeah, the next time we can pick one or two more different scenarios and attempt to recreate those.
Well, I sure hope I don't crash on those, but I can see that the simulator is the best place to learn from your mistakes.
You got it. That's the whole